What is up everyone, my name is Bartek and today we are kicking it off with the second episode of My Productivity System, the series in which we talk about, surprise surprise, my productivity system and all of the devices and tools that I use to stay productive, or at least to, make my life simpler. So today I am going to be showing you what is on my MacBook, but that not only includes all of the apps that I have, but also the settings and my file management system. So let's hop right into it, and the first thing I want to show you is my dock. Now, the dock was something that was irritating me the most at the very beginning. And as you can see, it's not visible here. That is because I turned hiding on. The way you do this is you go here and turn hiding on. I did this because I really do value my screen real estate, and if it were not for that, I would have like these two weird blank spaces here when a window would be open in full screen, and I don't like that. I thought that might irritate me, that I have to go down here to open it every single time, but it doesn't. You can also do that by Command, Option and D, and then it's toggled, it stays here even if you open an app. So that's it. That's it about hiding my dock, but there is also a few things I want to show you here in dock preferences. The other thing that I did was actually turn magnification lower. I didn't turn it off completely because I do like how it magnifies and I see exactly which app I want to click. But at the very beginning, in default, it was ridiculously huge. Like, this is crazy, alright? This is not something that I want, so I turn it down a little. And also, obviously, here in my dock are only the apps that I use on a daily basis. So I removed everything that was trash, everything that I didn't need. These are only the apps that I use every single day. This would be it if it comes to the dock. I think it works great and I really do like how I optimized it. So rolling with the punches, let's go into system preferences. First thing I do when I open, I only bought a MacBook once, but the first thing I did was go here and turn appearance into auto. This way, when the sun sets, my theme automatically changes to black. The next thing I do is actually go here and click in show scroll bars, and always I like to know when I can scroll something and how far I've scrolled through the page. And that would be it if it comes to general. The only one other thing I do is go to trackpad and I toggle on tap to click, because sometimes I'm just too lazy to use force in order to physically click something, so I just want to tap and bam, this allows me to do this. So this is it if it comes to both the dock and the settings. I don't use any other settings, I just keep them as default. I do believe so, because I like simplicity and I like minimalism. Speaking of minimalism, let's go to my file management system, starting with the desktop. Now, as you can see, my desktop is really minimalistic. I have almost nothing here. I have one huge folder called Life, which everything is in, and the stack of images. Now, these stacks, I don't have, a ton of things here like many people do. I only got 2 images, which I keep on my desktop for usually no longer than 2 weeks. After that, I either delete them or I place them in a specific folder in my Life folder. So let's hop into the Life folder, and as you can see, I've got my Life divided into 7 different categories, or at least the files that I use in my Life are divided into 7 different spheres. Now, if I want to find a file, I know generally which category it relates to. So for example, if I want to find a file that I remember that was around, my first year of middle school, then I know that it's related to school, and I know that it's archive because this is my high school folder. So I go to archive, and then after I finish, so this is another subcategory in the category folder, and after that, after there is no more categories to do, then I just organize my files by date. And this way, if I know when the file was created, approximately at least, it's very easy and very seamless to find it. And that is what a file management system should be, a system that allows you to find files easily. This is very minimalistic, and that's how I like it. It works for me, and if it works for you, then go ahead and copy it, do the same thing with your system. One other tip that I would give you if it comes to Finder, it's just a technical tip, but I would go to View and toggle Show Path Bar. This is this path bar, so if you want to track where you are, and if you want to maybe, go back to the desktop folder, you can do this. And also go to View and show status bar. This is this bar, so if you select something, it tells you how many items you've selected, and also it shows you how much space you got available on your MacBook. That's it. This is my entire file management system. There's nothing more to it, and it's very simple. Again, that is how I like it. Now let's talk about the thing that you might have been waiting for the most, so actually the apps that I'm using. Now the first category of apps is utilities. Utilities is just apps that help me use my MacBook. For example, one app that I definitely recommend you download on your Mac if you have one is Rectangle. Now Rectangle is just a tool that allows you to do something that Windows can natively do, a feature that I actually absolutely loved, namely window snapping. So if I open two Safari windows, for example, like that, I can just do this and bam, it's native, it divides my screen into two different windows. It works great, I love it. It's completely free and open source. There's a lot of window snapping apps that are paid for the Mac. This one is free, and I'll link it down in the description below for you to download it if you want to. This is pretty much the only utility app that I use. Well, the next one is Logi Options and Wacom Tablet Utility, but these are probably not too interesting for you. So let's move on to the next category, and that is productivity apps. The first productivity app is Flow. It's just a Pomodoro tracker. It's very simple. So as you can see, I've already started tracking my time. But when you start, you've got this little timer here in the home bar, and it's very simple, nothing sophisticated, but it gets the job done. Once the flow is finished, you've got a huge timer on the entire screen that times your break, so that you have no option to actually work during your break. And that is just great. I like using the Pomodoro technique. It works for me. Very simple app, and that's it. I'm not going to be talking too long about these apps. Then the next thing is Toggle Track. This is just an app that I use to track my time. So for example, if I'm recording a video right now, I could write video recording and add it to a project called content creation, and then at the very end of the month I would be informed on how much time exactly I spent on certain groups of activities. Like, as you can see, I've got different projects like content creation, design, development, entertainment, exercise, family, and so on and so on. Again, I'm not going to be talking about these for too long. The next productivity app that I use is my go-to note-taking app, which is just Apple Notes. Now, I don't have it here, as you can see, because I don't use it on a daily basis, so I would just go Command Space to open Spotlight and write notes, and there you go. This is my notes. I've got it divided into 4 different categories: inbox, creative, scouting, and school. Also archive, just for the notes that I don't use. And if I just got something, that I need to write down quickly and I haven't got my notepad, this is where I do that. Nothing very sophisticated again. The next app, of course, is the calendar that I use. Again, it's the Apple native calendar, but I do use it with Google Calendar, which I actually use to input these events because I prefer how it works. So I input events in Google Calendar just in Chrome, and then I view them here in Apple Calendar. That's weird, I know, but it works for me. The last app in the productivity category would be my to-do list, which is Todoist. It's not perfect, but it's the best to-do list app that I've tried from all of the free apps. It works good. I just have all of my tasks that come to my mind in my inbox, and that's it. That's just what I do. I write them down here, then I schedule them to concrete in certain days, like today, tomorrow. But right now I just currently only use the inbox. So if I look through this, I see a thing that I should do now and I do it. And that's it. That's just my to-do list app. That's it for the productivity section. Let's move into the work section. As you can see, I use almost the entirety of the Adobe CC suite because I am a graphic designer and right now also a video editor. But as you can see, for my video editing I use actually DaVinci Resolve. I would like to use Premiere Pro, but it's just slower and sometimes it pisses me off, and DaVinci Resolve is just seamless to use. But again, I would like to use Premiere Pro because it will work better with all of the other apps that I use. Now, for office and productive work, I use the Microsoft Office suite, whatever. Mostly I use Microsoft Word just for word processing, which I do quite often, and also a little bit of PowerPoint and Excel. OneNote, I don't use it at all. That would be pretty much it for work apps. Now there is just a few more, namely the two browsers that I use. So Google Chrome, which I use for specific tasks such as browsing through my Google Drive folders or something like that, also accessing my scouting email, but mostly I use Safari. I would like to transition to Safari completely, but just some things just don't work as well on Safari as they do on Chrome. But just for random browsing and browsing the web, just scrolling through the internet, Safari is what I use because it's more power efficient. There are two other apps that I use for work. The first one is Trello. And Trello is an app that I use for group work, for teamwork. If I have some projects that I have to do with some other people, this is mostly what I use. So for example, here we organized a trip to Norway with a few of our friends, and everything about this trip is here. Really everything. If we had to access something about this trip during the trip or before or after, everything would be here in one place. We could collaborate. It's an awesome app to do so. It's quite customizable. You can use it for various purposes, and I really do like it. What I cannot do on Trello, because not everything is possible to do here, I do on Notion. Now, Notion is an app that I'm using actually right this very moment to record this video, because I have all my video scripts or just outlines here. So for example, right now I'm recording, what's on my MacBook. If you open this up, you can see that I've just written down the points that I want to mention. Right now we are in Notion. There you go. This is such a vast tool. You've definitely heard of it. I probably will do a walkthrough through my Notion, maybe even in this series, because I use it quite a lot, especially for content management. And that's it. These are pretty much all the apps that I use for work, nothing more. But there are a few other apps that I use. Apple Music for listening to music, Apple TV for sometimes watching Apple TV. Apple does have good content. Podcasts for listening to podcasts. Facetime and messages to, just connect with people, as well as Zoom, similar purposes. What else? Do I use anything else? Yes, I do. Sonos S1 controller. This is the app that controls my Sonos speaker over there. S1 because I do not have the newest versions. This is quite an old speaker, but it still sounds great, and I do really like it. Phew. That was a long video, I think. If you're still watching it, bless you. I mean, I love you guys if you're still watching this. This is my MacBook. This is everything that's on it. This is everything that I use on a daily basis. All these other apps, these native apps, I don't really use. I just leave them here because they look good, I guess. Yeah, but this is just everything that I have on my MacBook, everything that I use on a daily basis. If you like this video, please give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe for more, and have a great, fantastic, euphoric, exhilarating day. Bye-bye.